You're listening to the Icandemy Podcast, the podcast for people who can but don't know how. This is where you get actionable steps to turn vague dreams into blissful realities. And I'm your host, Omoshola Victoria Wolabi. So let's get started. Are you at the verge of quitting your online business? Wait. Before you do that, hear this. If you have been struggling to attract clients, I totally understand how that must feel. I was also at the verge of quitting as well because I just felt everything I was doing was making no sense, attracting no clients, and I was so broke and such in a state of despair. But fortunately, I cracked the code. I got the code and I'm about to hand it to you for free. So if you've been struggling to attract clients into your business and you're just at the verge of giving it all up, try this first. Head on over to learn.icandemy.org, where I share with you how to make your first $10,000 online as a brand new coach, even if you have no social media following. Yes. No huge email list and no raving testimonials yet. Head on over to see how you can create a powerful system that works to attract clients and leads for you on demand. Head on over to learn.icandemy.org to get started. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Icandemy Podcast. Thank you so much for coming back every single week. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be continuing the 7-part series that I started and I titled So You Want to Be a Coach, Huh? And this is just to help you if you have the intention of turning your passion, your skills, or your interests, your hobbies really, into a side hustle, or maybe you're looking for that exit out of your day job and you want to start something on the side that can eventually lead you to doing something for yourself that you feel fulfilled in. And if teaching or coaching is one of your strengths, then this is going to be really useful for you. If you know anybody who has shared with you that they're thinking of doing something or starting something on the side, please send them this episodes, this series. They will definitely thank you for it. Now, I don't know if you noticed last week, the podcast was late. It usually goes out every Tuesday New Zealand time at 12 p.m. But there's a reason why it's late. And that's because my editor lives in Ukraine. And in my mind, I just thought, maybe because of what's going on, he won't be able to work right now. And I was just stressed out in my mind. But I just thought, you know what, why not reach out to him and just ask? And dude was available. Like, I don't even know how he does it. Still being able to work and deliver on time with everything going on just blows my mind. And that just shows me his work ethic, and how passionate he is about what he does. So just bear with me. This few episodes may be late, but bear with me because we are eventually going to get back on track. And I hope you have been praying for Ukraine and Russia, not just Ukraine, because I've been following the story very closely. And I do see that not every Russian is on board with what is going on. So as we pray for Ukraine, we also have to lift the people of Russia up as well, because all of the sanctions and everything going on is going to bite very hard on the normal, every day-to-day person that lives in that country, just because of the senseless decisions that their leaders chose to make. So I just want you to please, my editor, the editor of this podcast is actually in Ukraine. So I want you to please join me in prayer and lifting up these two nations before the Lord, because I know that the Lord has a purpose for everything under the sun and nothing can stop his purpose from coming to pass. So when we come collectively and lift up these two nations in prayer, the Lord will move on our behalf. So back to the episode. Thank you so much once again for just indulging me there. So on today's episode, we're going to step number 5, which is a really exciting step. It means designing. So it is the D in the Freedom Framework. The D is for designing a customer acquisition plan. What does that even mean? That may be sounding like French to some people if you're not in the sales and marketing industry, but I'll break it down for you. So when you're looking at starting an online coaching business or an online service business, you cannot start a business if you do not have customers in that business. So what am I saying essentially is you need to have a plan. You need to be able to design a plan of action on how you're going to bring customers into your business. Remember, we started from the first step, which is the F. We finessed our zone of genius. Now we know what it is that our strengths are. We moved on to the R. We research who our potential customers will be. We moved on to the E, which is we started to educate to attract. And we moved on to the second E, we started to engage to understand. Now that we have an understanding of who these people are, how are we going to get more of them into the door as customers? How do we convert the existing people we spoke to in our research phase into customers? That is exactly what this episode is about. And I'm super excited to be delivering it to you right now. So, when I say designing a customer acquisition plan, when you just start out first, like when you've spoken to people, obviously, you've researched that. Now, what you're trying to do is you want to get what I call a proof of concept, which means you want to get people, at least two people that will exchange money for that service. The amount is irrelevant at this point. What is important at this point is, will somebody pay me for this thing that I know? That is what we're trying to establish right here. And once we've established that, the next point is, how can I get more people like these two people that paid me to see what I have to offer and pay me too? That's exactly what we're trying to accomplish on this phase. So number one is, how do you get two people that can pay you? The amount, like I said, is irrelevant. We're just trying to establish the proof of concept that this thing is actually worth money in the marketplace. Okay, you can always increase your price later. And I see a lot of people make this mistake when they first start out. They're so focused on, it has to be, I don't know, whatever amount it is, $500, $1,000, $2,000. It doesn't have to be that. What we're trying to establish here is, because people have never paid you for this service before. It could be a hobby, it could be a skill that you currently use on your day job, or you have used in your career in the past, or something you're just passionate about. That's why we want to understand and establish that somebody's actually willing to pay you for this thing that you know, right? So that's the focus here. Is the focus right now is not on the amount, okay? So once you've been able to get two people to pay you for that thing. Okay, family, let's face it, we've all felt pain. We've suffered the losses. You know what it's like to want something so bad, but not see a path to its accomplishment. The question, however, is, do you know how to pick yourself up and move on despite what has happened? This is what I share with you inside of my new book, Good Medicine for the Crushed Spirit, a practical guide to helping you find purpose when adversity strikes. Inside this book, you will find personal stories, relatable biblical tales, and anecdotes that prove you are never alone in your despair and will inspire you to turn pain, discomfort, disappointment, or setbacks into something positive that works for you. So if you're ready to change your life in meaningful and purposeful ways, get your copy of this book today and let the transformation begin. The next step now is, how do we get more people like those two people to see us and pay us for that same service? Now, this is where we have to establish the different ways that this can happen. So the number one way is through social media. Everybody congregates on social media. We're all there. That's the beauty of this, right? So how do you use your social media platforms to get maybe your first two people and then more people after that? You need to have a marketing plan and a strategy. And if you're looking for, so a marketing plan basically is, how many people am I going to be able to reach from my social media channels? So for example, how many friends on Facebook do you have? How many followers on Instagram do you have? How many people on LinkedIn are you connected to? How many people see you on TikTok? That is a good place to start. And it doesn't have to be a lot of people. Trust me. You don't have to have a lot of followers for this. What, like I said, will endear people to you? Remember, I talked about this in the educating to attract phase. If you have crafted your story properly and you commit to a schedule of posting content on social media, you will start to attract the right people coming and reaching out to you. Now, consistency is key. This was one of the things that I struggled with when I first got started, being consistent, posting on social media. Now, you may say, I don't have time for this. I get it, especially if you're working a full-time job right now. I totally get it. There are features within Facebook that can help you schedule your post. So maybe on a Saturday when you're not working, you can sit down and craft maybe 5 stories, right, about that specific area of your life that is connected to the service that you want to sell. Just write down those 5 stories. You could use video formats as well if it's faster for you. I know some people may not like to sit down and write, but you can tell us the story like verbally. You can record a video of yourself telling that story, and you schedule that to say, maybe I want one story to go out in the morning. I want one story to go out at noon the next day. I want the other story to go out at night on the third day. It's good to leverage the different times of the day so that different people can actually see it. And if you look at your analytics, if you've got a Facebook page, it actually will show you the times, or on Instagram, the times that your followers are mostly online. Okay, so that's how you start. When you post that is you're posting that, and now you're not just posting the story to educate like you did in the educate to attract phase. You are adding something really significant to this phase. You are putting out what I call a call to action. So and you can literally take the same stories that you used in that educate to attract phase and then use them again here, repurpose them, and then add a call to action at the end to say, I am open to helping 5 people who want to, for example, lose weight within the next 3 months. If you are interested, send me a DM. That's a call to action. If you're interested, head on over to this page. That's a call to action. So at this point now, you may not have a website, you may not have a funnel. That's absolutely fine. Your call to action would be send me a DM. And when they come into your DM, you start to have that conversation with them. Okay. So this is the point. So that is the organic method. Now, some people may really be too busy to do this. In that case, you could leverage some paid method. What does that look like? Social media has paid services as well. People think Facebook is 100% free. It isn't. Even though it's a free platform, the way they make money is from advertising. So you could decide to buy some advertising from Google, Facebook, if you feel like you don't have time to be consistent. Because the beauty about ads is either you have the time or the money. Or both, right? If you do both, it's more efficient and more potent and faster. If you don't have the time, you should have the money too, so that the money does what you don't have the time to do, basically. But if you don't have the money, when you commit to that consistent schedule of putting out content on social media, it may take you longer. It will take you longer, right? If you do it organically. However, it is always more solid because you are building a more solid foundation when you start organically. If you don't have the time because of other commitments in your life right now, that's absolutely fine. You can buy some ads to reach a wider range of people who may be interested in what you have to offer. Now, at this point now, you want to draw out a plan on how you're going to be getting customers into your business. And you could start organically, paid, or a combination of both. Or you could start to say, okay, I'm going to do manual outreaches, word of mouth marketing. It still works. It means when you go to church, when you go to gatherings, parties, you are verbally telling people about what you do. Another brilliant way that I've seen is that you print t-shirts of what you do is, I help people live fruitful lives. Ask me how. They have that at the back of their shirts. And whenever they go out, people are curious and they'll stop and say, okay, you help people live fruitful lives. What does that even mean? And that opens up a conversation with strangers to talk to you about what you do. That is an organic way of marketing that doesn't really involve, well, you could say you spend some money printing the t-shirt, but compared to what you would pay in advertising, that's very minimal. So those are the ways that you can start getting the word out there. And at this point, you want to start brainstorming different ways that you can get customers or get people asking you about what you do or how you share more about what you do with people. Now, I have a product called the Client Attraction Bundle. This contains 365 days of social media posts. If you are struggling with what to post on social media, it gives you prompt story ideas that you can share. Head on over to offers.icandemy.org/CAB, which stands for Client Attraction Bundle, right? If you're looking to get something that would help you so that you are more consistent and you don't have to think too much, okay? So head on over to offers.icandemy.org/CAB, Client Attraction Bundle. That's it from me from this week. I hope this helped you a lot. And if this helps you, please feel free to share this with your circle of friends, with your people on your social media pages as well, and tag me in there. I would love to connect with you. Thank you so much for listening. And until the next episode, keep on shining. Do you ever think to yourself, I want to be able to impact lives, leave an imprint in this world, but you feel isolated, stuck, unclear on how to show up or get started? If you've answered yes to this question, I want to extend a very special invitation to you to join us on our upcoming workshop, the Courageous Confidence Workshop. This workshop is live, where we get to work together on that call so that you can crack the confidence code, awaken your inner giant, show up authentically, and attract your tribe. Head on over to offers.icandemy.org/courageous. Again, it's offers.icandemy.org/courageous. You'll find the links in the show notes below. So there you have it. Thank you so much for listening. And for more content like this, follow us on our social media handles. On Facebook, it's at Icandemy, the Facebook page. On Instagram, it's at Icandemy. Or come say hello over on my personal page. On Instagram, it's at Omoshola Speaks. On Facebook, it's Victoria Wallaby. Feel free to reach out, introduce yourself, say hello. I love meeting you. And if you have any stories that you feel will inspire another woman to action, I want to hear from you. I really do. I love hearing from you. Send me an email to hello@icandemy.org. So it's hello@icandemy.org.